So we want to talk a little bit about Maaco. You guys might be working on your project. You might be finishing up a nice lifted truck. Might be finishing up that rust bucket that's been in the barn for a long time. But it has come to the time when you're like, you know what? This thing really needs some paint. We've all been there, right? And Maaco seems to be like the chain to go to in order to get this paint job, right? So for like 20 years, I've heard $1,000 paint job. You want to get it done? $1,000 paint job at Maaco, right? So I've been hearing that since high school, since before high school. And so where did I want to go? I started looking through, seeing like who in my area does paint, you know, who can paint this truck. And Maaco just kept coming up. So I went in, had a little consultation done, and they went ahead and decided that the best thing was to keep the original black paint that my truck originally had, which is single stage black. I tried to see if I could get like a metallic paint job or like maybe the concrete paint job that people are doing now, because that's what I was thinking about doing. But you know, they said as far as budget wise, this is going to be the best route that we can go. So I went with a single stage black paint job. And the truck used to be two-tone. I did all the prep work myself on this truck. You know, whether it was grinding out rust or fixing like dents, because there's dents all over this thing. But you know, we had to do what we had to do in order to get this truck done. Sanded everything down 320, went over it a few times, and Maaco had a deadline for me to bring this truck in. Right, so you're gonna save yourself some money. This will be about $1,000 out the door, single stage black, which is a urethane based paint, and it's got the paint and the clear coat mixed together, just from what I understand. They said they were gonna do just a coat. Then after they've had it for a long time, they said that they did a few coats. I don't really know how to check that, but I'm just kind of letting you know what my experience was. I had the truck done at the deadline that they wanted, brought the truck in, and guess what? They didn't even work on the truck that week. Yeah. They didn't even work on the truck the following week. Oh yeah. And on that third week, they said they're getting the truck in on Monday. I said, great. Let me know when it's done. They said it was going to take like a few days. Called back on Friday, like, hey, you know, you guys called me like earlier in the week. You know, or I called you guys earlier in the week. You guys said the truck was going to be done middle of the week. So what's going on? All right. So I went ahead and talked to this manager, I guess, and he was like, who told you that your truck was going to be done? It's not even in. So I was like, what? Like, we're going on 3 weeks here. Like, my truck should be done by now. But he's like, well, I don't know who you talked to, but it's not even in yet. So that kind of like pissed me off a little bit. But the following week, on that fourth week, the truck was done, like beginning of the week. And I brought it home, and you know what? I'll say that I was pretty happy with it. You know, there wasn't too many things to complain about. It looked great. It was shiny. It was sparkling. It's a brand new paint job. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And for $1,000, come on. That's like not bad at all, right? So, I went ahead, brought the truck home, all right? And started to notice like a few things, right, over this past year now, okay? Because it's been about a year. So I thought maybe I'd share my experience, because I see a lot of these videos, but I don't see a lot of year updates, you know what I mean? I do have a little bit of paint bubbling around some of the fenders. You know, there's a few paint issues here and there, but overall, pretty good. I think they spent more time on the hood than anywhere else, because the hood looked phenomenal, and the hood still looks great. I will say that the thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit was after like 2 weeks and they didn't work on the truck, they said they're going to resand the truck down for me for free, right? So I'm like, cool, that sounds great. Well, when I went through my truck and sanded it down, I was very meticulous, right, about making sure I hit everything. Well, these guys went ahead and sanded over the new fender flares that I put on the truck, right? And the reason I had to put them on is because I had cut out the old, you know, cancer that was basically in that truck, and I needed to cover it. So I cut it out, welded what I needed to, and then I primed it, sanded it, and painted it all underneath those new fender flares. So then I put the new fender flares on and I told them like, hey, I need these painted anyway. I just want them to be painted while they're on the truck. Okay? So you can do that. You know, you can get them painted when they're not on the truck, but I don't want to spend any more money. I just want them to take it in and spray it. But I already sanded those suckers down. Well, you can see that there's some skip marks on, not skid marks, okay? There's some skip marks, all right, on this truck. And it's when they used their sander, their palm sander or whatever, and it started skipping. So instead of going back over it to smooth out where they skipped it, they just let it skip, and it looks like someone like skipped a rock across it, right? So it doesn't look the best to me. And I was kind of disappointed because I knew that I didn't make that mistake, and I knew that they had made that mistake, and I brought that up to the guy like when I was still in the parking lot, and he's like, yeah, you know, they hit it with a couple extra coats of paint, like is it still good? That's what he asked me, and I'm like, you've had my truck for a month, like yeah, it's fine, you know what I mean? Like, but I should have, you know, in hindsight maybe like pointed that out. But when you start nitpicking at things, I think a lot of times, especially like different businesses, depending on, I wouldn't like to say that they would make a mistake on purpose, but you know, people that complain a lot, just you tend to think that you're going to get the best customer service, but really you're not. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, they knew that, you know, I like to do maybe business with them in the future, and I was pretty happy with seeing my truck painted like black, and you know, having that transformation is pretty cool to see. So we'll finish this video with like, would I recommend a Maaco paint job? Yeah, I would do it, especially you have the fortitude, you have the skill set, you have some sort of knowledge, and just like how to do like some basic body work. Mine's not the best. This is like my second time doing body work. Like there's still dents in there that I tried to smooth out that are still dented. And I'm pretty sure like my wife took my truck out, you know, first time she had it, went to the grocery store and backed it up into something because there's a little dent in the back where I had fixed before I took it into Maaco. And she was complaining like, oh, you know, you can't see anything out of this truck. Driving this truck, it's too big, yada, yada, yada. And she hasn't driven it since. So I know that something must have happened, maybe, but she won't tell me that anyway. But I am going to tell you guys that this paint job's holding up, right? For $1,000, if that means you have to do like some, you know, put in some elbow grease on your own, I'd say go for it. You know, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. You know, if it's not within budget, see if there's any other places around you that do paint jobs. I know I did that and I was having some trouble. So you might have a little bit better luck than I did if you guys decide not to go with Maaco. Some people just trash Maaco like all the time. But you know, whoever sanded the truck maybe didn't do the best job. Whoever painted the truck did a good job. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, they knew how to paint cars or paint trucks. Like, you know, so just know like there's like a $150 upcharge, I think, if you have a large vehicle. So if it's not a car, you're gonna pay $150 more. So if I had a car, it would have been $150 less. You know, so yeah, and if you stick with the original color, that should save you some money. But I'm just gonna say, like, I had a pretty good experience. The paint job's holding up. If you're trying to do everything budget friendly, where it's building a custom car, building a truck, or just like getting like that old barn truck or that old barn car back on the road, and you need to get some paint on that sucker, go to Maaco. You know, for $1,000, they might have your car for a month, like they did for me. They might have your car for a few days. You know, everyone's experience is kind of like a little bit different. But as far as being in a budget and doing like any project at all, I think that this was something that I definitely budgeted into my build. I knew that I had to save at least $1,000 to get a paint job, so that's what I did, and that's his max like budget that I had. So yeah, I would go back. I would recommend them. And you know, if you are going to go to Maaco and get a paint job and you're watching this video, I'm a year out and I think my truck still looks great, and good luck to you. Alright, that's for starts, and congrats because you're taking that step. And for anybody who's just watching this because they weren't sure how it was going to hold up or whatever, it's holding up good. So, you know, I'd say go for it. And if there's anyone who just like really loves Maaco and watching this video, awesome. And if there's someone who just like only has heard hate about Maaco, I'm letting you know that you know, things went pretty good for me. So If you guys got anything from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, you know, about the paint job, if you have questions about, like, I've gotten some questions about orange peel, and I could have sanded the whole truck down with like a wet sand and rebuffed the truck and all that, but I didn't want to mess up my brand new paint job because I'm not a professional body guy. All right, I just kind of have like some mechanical skills, right? So I'll say that if that's something that you would like to do on your own, you can. Yeah, there was a little bit of orange peel. The paint, basically from just doing a bunch of washes, it kind of has like taken that down. But I'll say that, you know, all in all, it's pretty good. If you're trying to stay in a budget, sorry, it's my dog coming down. You know, all in all, it's pretty good. So, anyway, if you have a comment below. If you have any like questions or whatever, you know, let me know. I'll answer all your questions. And for the love of God, please like, share, and subscribe. I know everybody says that, but if you guys end up watching this video, like, give it a like. Subscribe. You know, I'm not saying you have to, but if you would like to, I mean, we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so if you want to be part of that train early on, I'd say come along and join the ride. But, you know, you're not forced to do anything. I'm just like asking out of like, I'm just asking for like, you know, you know what I'm asking? I'm asking for like a favor, you know, like I made this video for you. You're watching this video, just please, as a favor, you know, you don't have to like be alerted every time my video comes out. I'm just looking to get this channel up to 1,000. We're doing cars, we're doing builds, we're doing construction, we're doing music, we're doing man stuff, testosterone driven, awesome, cool things. And I feel like, you know, if I say man stuff, do people understand what that means? I don't even know if people understand what that means these days. I'm not trying to be misogynistic or anything like that, but like, you know, if I want to say like I want things to be like high testosterone, high driven, you know, like people are gonna say like, well, that's sexist. It's like I'm not about to go down that rabbit hole, okay? I'm not about to go down that rabbit hole. But if you're into that kind of stuff, you're into some action, you're into like some cool builds and all that good stuff, just follow along, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you guys in the next video.